Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. I'm the founder, president, and CEO of GRCAM, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. On this platform, we discuss authentic urban news across the diaspora and what's happening on the African continent. If you are joining us for the first time, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button on my YouTube page. We encourage our listeners worldwide to engage with us by leaving a public comment about the topics in the comment section below this audio podcast. Help make our audio podcast and our video podcast go viral by sharing my YouTube page with all of your Facebook friends and any other social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is based on public available reports and verified media sources. We fully comply with YouTube's community guidelines. We do not promote violence, hate, or misinformation in any form. This podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and also as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. Help Stop the Genocide in the American Ghettos podcast is our Black media component. I would like to encourage my listeners to please subscribe to my Medium page, which is also known as the Medium transcript. There you could look at all my sources. I document everything. So I come with receipts, fully loaded. And I provide my Medium transcript in the comments section below this audio podcast. I want to do more than just news and social commentary, but at this point in time, this is where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen. Without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment. So that's why I created this platform, because I want to do more than, just sit up and write books. I wrote one book and one book only, and that's the foundation of my Christian business. And that's the book that I encourage all of my listeners to purchase. And I have to go there. I mean, let's keep it a buck. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my revised book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying or purchasing items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from donating to my film project. That's a personal choice. That's Willie Lynch in real time, ladies and gentlemen. My film project is my last attempt to try to build something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to Africa. Upcoming events. Wednesday, October 29th, we have guest speaker, Minister Joy Paul. I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm not going to say it. From Nigeria. And on Thursday, October 30th, we have guest speaker, Pastor Ruth from Zambia. Please mark your calendar for our next monthly virtual interactive conference, which will be this coming Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Join us in this virtual interactive conference. Everyone on my Facebook page, everyone in my social groups, and all other social media sites that I'm on, you all are welcome to be a part of this. Again, those of you who are serious about doing business with me, please exchange emails with me so that way I can email you everything that I do online. I put everything out on the table, and it's up to you if you want to be a part of this stuff or not. And those of you that want to work with me, and especially those of you that purchase my ebook and agree with the vision and plan, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. And if you live in the United States of America, if you're able to travel here to Chicago, then I would like for you to consider being on my film project management team. You'll be, and if you be part of our film project management team, you will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. Those of you who do that. Um, so on this platform, we're genuine, sincere, transparent, and authentic. Although we don't have a physical building at this time, we're using this technology to broadcast what we're trying to do in Black Chicago and beyond. This event will help expand your network, enhance your profile visibility, and make more meaningful connections with the global community. The theme: understanding global white supremacy and what GRCAM members can do about it. Where? Zoom Live. Time 2 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. We are looking for 5 or more people from my Facebook page or in my Facebook groups who are able to come on our panel. If you're interested, please send me a message to my Facebook inbox along with your email address so that way I can send you specific instructions about being on the panel. Thank, thank you. We will post the Zoom link on my Facebook page as well as in my Facebook social group so that way people have an opportunity to participate. Title of this presentation, quote, why like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America should join GRCAM. Second topic, Democrats can't win elections without the Black vote. And the our last topic, 5 reasons why the American empire is falling. Our first topic, why like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America should join GRCAM. I have 2 audience that listen to this podcast, a domestic audience, which consists of Black Americans, African immigrants, Afro-Caribbeans, and Afro-Latinos. And I also have an international audience, which are the global African family, who resides in Canada, the Caribbean, South America, Europe, and across the African continent. Next month, November 10th, will mark GRCAM 34th anniversary. That's a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, that's a jail sentence. My time is up with reaching out to Black Americans in Chicago. And that's how come again I created this platform to broadcast my vision and plan beyond Chicago, to reach like-minded Black Americans across the United States, as well as like-minded African immigrants across the United States. I'm looking for brave and smart, like-minded Americans, brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants. And those African immigrants, I would prefer that they are from 10 African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. I'm trying my best to create the best African American business within the United States of America. That's what I want to build. But I can't build this type of business alone because this is a Nehemiah assignment on a spiritual level. So I need qualified people that's going to be on my management team that's going to help me run this business. And I will pay. I say I will pay, but at this point in time, all I have is again my revised book and my virtual store and this platform and my online groups. So I'm using what uh, the little resources that I have to recruit brave and smart individuals that's going to help me. Um, First of all, get this revised book on that bestsellers list so I can earn capital to hire people. That's why I wrote the book. I wrote the book in order to generate capital. But my book is barely selling. It's been out on Amazon for 13 years and still barely selling. Why? Because Black America do not want a solution. That's why. And because this is spiritual warfare at its best. I created my virtual store in order to generate capital. However, items on my virtual store is barely selling. This is extremely frustrating. And this is why I am reaching out to like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants beyond Chicago, across the United States of America. And I'm also reaching out to the global African family. Hear me loud and clear. I have something positive to offer. Those who work with me will go down in history with me and Sister Renee, especially if you get behind this film project. Again, my film project is my last attempt. All I want to do is raise funds for this film project and see what happens. Um, Once the proceeds from the films, starts pouring in, then that's going to put me in a better position financially, so that way I can purchase property in Chicago, Illinois, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle class professionals and qualified African immigrants to help me build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. And actually, that's what my film is about, too. It's about my struggle growing up in the inner cities, growing up in a dysfunctional family. And, it's not to throw shades at my family, but hey, it is what it is. But none of my family members, I'm just saying the ones that I encounter, because I don't know all my family, I'm just being real. But anyway, the ones that I encountered, they would not be part of my business because they're full of Willie Lynch. Anybody that sit up here and tell me that, oh, you need to, you shouldn't even try to waste your time to build your own business. Just work for the man. The man mean work for the white man and forget about, trying to start your own Black business. If anybody could step to me with that kind of garbage, we will remain strangers for life. And that's how I get down. Because during Jim Crow, it was like-minded Black Americans that built Black Wall Street. During Jim Crow, our people also built Rosewood and many other Black towns, without the help of white people. And we can still do that. But again, it's unfortunately a lot of Black Americans have become Americanized. Um, they have become the word that on the tip of my tongue. Forgot the because it's not. I didn't think about saying all of this, but yes, they're narcissists. They have a narcissist type of attitude. So yes, it is what it is. So Anyway, if anybody start talking, foolish to me and stuff like that, like how much am I gonna pay them and all that stuff with a funky attitude, I'm like, I ain't paying you jack, and just keep it moving. Because I don't want those type of people in my business. You got to come correct. That's all I'm saying. And at this point in time, I'm trying to get professionals, people that know how to do business, like people that know how to do marketing. Even if you have I require at least associate's degree. You know what I'm saying? Associate's degree. And you got to pass our criminal background check. And all that stuff is all in the book. But again, I want the main thing right now at this point in time is I want my listeners that's serious. Those of you that have been listening to me for a while, especially those that have probably just been listening to me this year. All I want you to do is please purchase my ebook, read my story, and that's all. If you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Chicago, then you will automatically become a GRCAM member. Um, all right, so let me see where I left off. Uh, well, okay. So my book is available in two forms. It's available as an ebook for $9.99. It's also available as a softcover book for $15 plus shipping and handling. Again, I'm encouraging everyone on my Facebook friends list and everyone in my Facebook social groups to please purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. Um, if you live in America and you have the skills that I'm looking for, then please join my film project team. And the main thing is that you're going to have to come to Chicago once we raise that $240,000. If you're serious, and I want to talk with you, I want to talk to you in private, so that way you can feel comfortable speaking with me. But you're going to have to talk to me. A lot of people that's on my friends list, I don't know who you are. I keep reaching out to you and stuff like that. Um, I'm just gonna leave you alone. Those of you that's in my social groups that never interact with me, that refuse to come on this platform, um, we're just gonna leave you all behind. We want to do this film, get that out there, generate capital from that film, and get and build Kyle Chicago so we can go ahead and get this thing popping for the next generation. And I want to turn the business over to my management team and make my presence known on the African continent, starting in South Africa. So I'm ready to make this happen. It's way overdue. I'm 33 years behind schedule, but hey, it is what it is. I'd rather be late than never. That's how I feel. So our mission is to eradicate. That's what Rakaya of Chicago is all about. That's what I'm trying to build, this thing right here, with the help of GRCAM members. Our mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, spiritual development, and hosting African and Caribbean tours. GRCAM members will build a performing arts hub that this that dismantles biases by cultivating cross-cultural understanding and interpersonal connections, transforming our inner cities through community building projects to creating a society in which urban violence and terror will no longer exist. I mean, I know that's a lot, but that's what my creator placed in my heart and mind. Because technically, I wanted to be a physician assistant, and I asked my creator to bless me with photographic memory, but he told me this is what he wants me to do instead. So I have to be obedient. It is what it is. I'm doing the best that I can, but again, I want to make sure that we get this thing popping here in the city of Chicago first for credibility before I cut and run to Africa. And also, before I cut and run to Africa, I want to make sure that Sister Renee will be well taken care of. You know what I'm saying? She's been working with me behind the scenes for the past 13 years. Grateful for her. But yeah, it's been a struggle. And yes, Sister Renee is a Black American, just like myself. We're descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. Alrighty, so we will promote economic opportunities in the African American community and build alliances with the African immigrant community by being an advocate and becoming an economic base in both communities. Chicago will provide neighborhood revitalize strategies in collaboration with local community partners, business, cultural institutions, and civic leaders. We will offer associate degrees, vocational training, creating writing workshops, dance, music, theater, visual arts, and most of all, filmmaking. That's again how we're going to make our money from the business. But for our for-profit side of the business, we're going to own and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. Again, this is why I need professionals. I prefer to say middle class Black professionals on my team. And we want to serve those who embrace or identify as descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. That's who this business is for in the first place. This is lineage based. And we also we're reaching out to, like I say, African immigrants because we want to build a strong relationship with them. They already here in this country, and we want to make sure that we could replicate the business on the African continent. Now, as it pertains to non-Black sympathizers, they're welcome to join us not as groups, but as individuals. And also, I want to know where they stand specifically for lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves. Is neither yes or no. I don't want to hear nothing in between. And they're going to have to pay a reparations fee too. So that's just how it is. But they can join us if they want to, but it is what it is. Uh, our objective is to offer quality performing arts centers, film and technology centers, affordable artist lofts, quality restaurants, a literary cafe, and retail opportunities to invigorate the community's emotional, cultural, and economic health. We will offer different membership levels: basic membership, network membership, and entrepreneur membership. GRCAM Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility consisting of a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector, operating under 9 functions under one roof. They are as follows. We're going to have a social service component, a spiritual component, optional for secular people, a political component, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a health and wellness component, Black grassroots media component, science and technology component, and travel and tourism components. Under our for-profit sector, that will be known as the Red Zone. We will offer state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high rope adventures, captivating game rooms featuring the latest video and amusements, stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurants, various businesses on-site childcare, and an on-site music recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, and weddings, and corporate parties/events. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together. This will be group economics in action. We will offer rental space for our members who have went through our business classes and workshops. Under the nonprofits cooperative, it will be known as the Green Zone. GRCAM of Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. GRCAM of Chicago will be membership based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make are returned to our members in the forms of lower prices through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer light groceries through our food pantry and tutorial services for Black youth, African youth, and their families. We will offer a second chance program for ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes, former gang members that has, based on their and it's going to depend on their criminal background. So, but I'm saying we're willing to um allow them in our fold because they're part of the community, especially if they turned their life around and all that, as well as homeless individuals within the community. GRCAI of Chicago is about strengthening the Black family and the African family. GRCAI of Chicago is about providing healing for Black Americans from this slave mentality. It's about healing from. It's also about healing for African immigrants from that colonized mindset. We will learn and respect each other's culture and learn how to do business together so that we can replicate this business on the African continent. So that's why it's very important we get it popping here first. Because when I come to Africa, I don't want to waste time trying to explain who I am. My business will speak for itself. Global African Family, GRCAM of Chicago, will help benefit Africa because we will bring millions of dollars to the African economy through our tourism alone. I mean, I'm just saying, help me get this book on that bestsellers list, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters from the global African family. Again, black Chicagoans acting funny style with me, and I'm not going to let that faze me. But again, it's been 33 years. I don't want to be doing this another 33 years. That's why I wrote the book. And yeah, those that rejected me, I forgive them. But if I catch any of them during our mandatory orientations that I reached out to, I'm going to embarrass them. I'm just being real. And they will still won't be part of my business because this is membership based. And again, none of my family members will be part of my business. It is what it is. Once Gurkayev's once Gakai of I'm going to say Africa is established, then we will bring skills, create businesses, and global networks. We will assist Black American families who are interested in dual citizenship with relocating, housing, banking, and medical services. Black families will have a quality of life, have a sense of belonging and safety. In a In each African nation that we will visit, we will match Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists, so that we can do international trade among our people and members. We also plan on setting up local chapters in each African nation that we visit. Our objective is to unite middle class, working class, and so called underclass Africans with the diaspora and vice versa. Cal Chicago is about raising the bar. Um, we want to separate ourselves from the enemy within. Con artists, Black boule, degenerates, Democrat shields, hardened criminals, pedophiles, off-code Negroes, and urban terrorists. Once GRCAM members build GRCI of Chicago, then we will hold mandatory orientation for local Chicago residents on the west side of Chicago. Each person must sign the community pledge, pass our criminal background check, and submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database. This business, again, will be membership based, and I'm only responsible for GRCAM members. Those who are not part of us, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and we will keep it moving. We will cover Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. Eventually expand to the south side of Chicago and make our presence known there in one of those Black neighborhoods on the south side. Our objective is to make Chicago a model city across the nation. Now, if if GRCI of Chicago expand to other cities across the country, that's fine with me. If not, that's fine with me. Again, I dedicated 33 years trying to get this thing up and running. Still, it's not up and running. That's why I'm trying to do the film. Like I say, my film project is my last attempt. Once I'm able to raise the capital, then we'll see what happens, how much revenue I can generate from the film. But whatever I'm able to earn, that's what I'm going to use to get the business popping here in Chicago. And I want to make sure none of my members have to endure such foolishness I went through. Because I'm up against a 400-year mentality. So, this is not something that can go away right away. I am on a mission from God to share my plan and vision to those who will listen. The camp members will take the lead in turning around our inner cities in Chicago and in due time in the slums of Africa if given a chance. The CAM challenged the Black church to live up to its potentials and encourage Black culture to um, reconcile with its Savior. Our objective is to create or to, sorry, tongue twist. Our objective is to create Black empowerment films and promote Black economic empowerment. We want to have inspiring content while changing the world. We will promote a kingdom economy through this business, creating a platform which bridge the gap between Black Americans and African immigrants, as well as Afro Caribbeans and Afro Latinos throughout the diaspora. The CAM will consist of two fronts: a domestic front, which will focus on issues within Black America, and also on an international front. We will focus on issues within Africa, the Caribbeans, and Brazil. GRCAM Chicago will uh, open the world of opportunities for inner city youth through local cultural um, immersions, career development, and skill building, and our birthright journey to Africa. Our goal is to invest in the future of our youth through training and development, access to culture, promote Black economic empowerment, and transform power of international traveling. I want to encourage GRCAM members to become global citizens, not just limit ourselves to American, but to travel outside of the United States of America and meet the global African family in each African nation that we set up local chapters in. So I watched a video on TikTok entitled "Quote." So, okay, this is the quote title of this TikTok video. Quote, so the Supreme Court is gearing up to gut Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, unquote. To watch the video, just go to my Medium transcript located in the comment section below this audio podcast. The sister, she was on point. She was saying that White America had a 400-year head start, and Black people can't have one or two major districts. They own all the major businesses, and yet their American empire is starting to crumble, and their country is in debt. So, yes, yep. What is there to talk about at this point? Mega or MAGA supporters want to come to HBCUs and have debates. A debate for what? The white supremacist financial elites have always targeted and sabotaged Black Americans ever since they snatched us up from Africa and brought us over here forcefully against our will. You're harming our people in the Caribbean, places like Haiti. Haiti can get its feet get on its feet because of the white supremacist financial elites. In South America and of course Africa, because y'all install puppet leaders over there. If African elects a leader who puts Africa interests first, then you create a coup so that your people can continue to receive African resources for free or little on a dollar. Your people destabilize everything. I want Black American and the global African family to pay attention to what I'm saying. And we have to, as a collective, we're going to have to work together, bottom line, but not with off cold people. That's what I'm saying. We want to separate ourselves from the enemy within. That's why I want to create this business. This business is for Black people that want more out of life, not sitting up here complaining about the white man and the government. Our focus is on doing what we can within our power. Um, so again, our ancestors built Black Wall Street under Jim Crow, and they did not have any voting rights. Black South Africans are the majority of the population. Ain't no reason y'all should have 7% of the white population in your parliament or running everything. I explained to you all that for me, the battle is not for America. The battle is for Africa. I am just trying to be obedient and recruit brave and smart, like minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like minded African immigrants to read my story and work with me in getting my book on that bestsellers list, and those that live in the United States of America. If you're able to travel to Chicago, if you meet the qualifications that I'm looking for, like for example, I'm looking for seasoned filmmakers. You know, work with me. I'm looking for Black content creators. Let me come on your show and promote what I'm trying to do. That's all I'm saying. Like I say over here, it's not about um, fun and games. This is not for entertainment. That's why I said the title of my podcast, Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos. You can't sugarcoat genocide. I'm on business over here. So people can talk about me like a dog all day long. At the end of the day, I'm still standing on business. Um, so um, So I want African immigrants across the United States from 10 African nations from the sub-Saharan Africa to be a part of the film project team. Um, you will go down in history with me and Sister Renee if be part of my film project on the team. Um, I want I want to bring that Black American energy to South Africa. I'm just saying, because again, I don't want to waste the rest of my life here in America behind a computer saying the same old, same old. You know what I'm saying? And also, I do not want to come to Africa empty-handed. I want to come to Africa with economic tangibles in the forms of job creation for GRCAM members and for the locals. I need the global African family who reside in Canada, the Caribbean, South America, Europe, and across the African continent. Please encourage, um, I would say, people from your nation that lives here in America to work with me. Encourage them to purchase my ebook and to help me get that on the bestsellers list. Encourage them to join our film project team. So that way, this can help speed up the process. Um, I want the global African family to see what the white supremacist financial elites do to us here in America. They constantly target and sabotage us. So that's why I'm saying I don't know. I've talked to a lot of Africans, Native Africans, on the continent, and they like, oh, man, I would love to come to America and work with you and help you. And I'm like, no, stay where you at. And encourage people tell people on the continent about me and encourage them to uh, join my YouTube page, to subscribe there, and we could take it from there. The ballot box and political parties have never given Black Americans any kind of freedom. That's the big trick that they told us. The so-called Black representatives are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. White Democrats do not want Black Americans to get reparations. It is what it is. They already know that the Republicans don't want Black Americans to have reparations. We have to understand those. White liberals want white supremacy to remain in place just as much as white conservatives. They are the same, just different names, symbols, and ideology. So what? So when people say that they are the same bird with two wings, meaning the same party with the same culture of people. Both of them are invested in keeping racism, white supremacy alive and well. They don't allow us to have equality because equality goes against what their forefathers built for them, which is a system of white supremacy. They built a racial caste system, and Black people have been selected to be at the bottom of their racial caste system. That's really what this is all about. For example, look at history of the Black Wars that took place in Australia. That used to be a Black nation, but when the Europeans came over there, they wiped out half of the population. Same thing that happened here in the New World. Same thing that happened up there in Canada. It's just horrible. Our strongest weapon that we have is promoting a nationwide economic boycott. You do not have to get into the streets. They can't do anything about it, neither. If you get into the streets, then they have something to get you. They're not ready for you to hold your money. Black Americans have to get serious about not spending. How can we keep our money local? How can we support our community? And how can we break these corporations? These politicians work for corporations. They don't work for us. They just don't have time for, oh, we just don't have time for endless debates. It's about action now. One thing that they didn't count on is for us to, get on one accord and be on code. Now, there's a lot of Black grassroots organizations that's out there that's I would say they're biting They're using our terms like being on code and all that stuff. And then when you ask them, well, what is the code? Then they say the code is the leader. That doesn't make sense at all. So over here, under the grassroots community activist movements, um, all of the principles in my revised book, that's the code for GRCAM members. I'm just letting you know that's what that's about. So, um, so over here, our focus is we want to fix our community. We want to build for our children. We're, but at this point in time, we're not doing anything, and that's not cool at all. That's how come I'm trying to create this business so we can focus and be on one accord. So anyhow, Governor Gavin Newsom was he I read an article that he's now trying to um solicit I'm gonna say votes, you know, from black people and stuff like that. Um because at first, remember, he was against reparation. He killed the reparation bills. Um so now he's talking about he's going to create some type of reparation agency to look over, do I think a study and all that kind of stuff. So, and I got that under Show and Prove if you want to check that out, about the article and actually the bill itself, if you would like to read that. Um, and I'm gonna show you all the different articles and videos and stuff after I finish going through this presentation. So just bear with me, y'all. These if you if you study Black history in America, we never got anything from these politicians. These political parties are not relevant enough because they can't defeat the two-party cartels, Black millennials and Generation Z. If we start voting for the third party, political parties in masses, that would make news. That would make the white supremacist financial elites nervous because that's going to hit them. That's going to hit them because they always want to think that they know everything. But, if we make different moves, so that's how, get them off guard. If Black America would have embraced my vision and plan 30 years ago, I believe GRCAM Chicago would have been up and running in at least 10 cities in America and at least 5 African nations by now. And we would have been in a much better economic condition than we are now. Black Americans didn't listen to Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Claude Anderson, and many other great minds. I wrote about illegal immigration in my revised book, and my revised book has been on again Amazon for 13 years and still barely selling. And items on my virtual store are also barely selling. Like I said, my film project is my last attempt to try to build something positive for my racial group, Black Americans, before I cut and run to Africa. I warned Black Americans for 3 decades, but um, what I've written is now is starting to come to pass. Our children are in trouble and it's gonna get worse. The American empire is starting to fall. No evil empire will last forever. Even the Roman Empire came to an end. A lot of us are hard-headed, stubborn, and stiff-necked. Some of the condition that we're in is because we didn't listen to those that gave us warnings. The white supremacist financial elites could do couldn't do everything without um, black people's participating, or participating in their evil plans. These politicians love to talk about the crime rate in Chicago. The problem with crime is poverty. For example, in Inglewood and Garfield Park, in those communities, they have a higher crime rate than Chatham or Hyde Park. The more Black Americans get into the middle class, then the crime rates goes down. Poverty is tied to crime. The Pookie and Ray Rays are trapped in poverty areas and labeled as criminals. American societies won't invest in poor Black communities, therefore, it creates a Black economy. This is this is done by design in order to trap our Black youth and into the school to prison pipeline. This is why it's very important for my listeners to become GRCAM members so that we can build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago together. Because I can't do this all by myself, ladies and gentlemen. This will help stop the genocide in American ghettos, starting in Chicago, if given a chance. 33 years, Black Chicagoans as a collective, including my own family members, have rejected and overlooked my vision and plan. This is why I created this platform in order to broadcast my vision and plan beyond Chicago, in order to create in order to recruit brave and smart, like-minded Black Americans, brave and smart, like-minded African immigrants across the United States of America to join this new movement called the Grassroots Community Activist Movements. These corporations are getting their way out of, let me say that again, these corporations are getting way out of hand. Right now, the billionaire class is running everything, especially within the US government. But understand something, the billionaires cannot exist without your financial support. If you don't believe me, look at the situation with Target, Starbucks got in trouble for practicing racism. A lot of people started pulling back. Economic boycott still works. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. taught us the power lies in launching a mass economic boycott of a particular business. These billionaires don't care about people. We can fight back by not eating at their restaurants or shopping at their stores. What we got to do is start shopping at Black stores. And the sad thing about Black Americans, we have to encourage Black Americans to support Black businesses. That should be a no brainer. That's how, now my bank, I'm just putting this out here. My bank is encouraging me to take out a loan. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to take out no loan. Black Americans not supporting my revised book. It's been out, like I say, for 13 years. What's the purpose of me sitting up here trying to, get my business up and running if I ain't gonna have support for it at this point in time? That means I'm gonna lose money and I have to end up paying interest on that loan that I take out, and that's why I'm not going out that way. Um, so it is what it is. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, Democrats can't win elections without the Black vote. The 2024 election has taught the Democrat Party the most expensive political lessons in modern history. The Democrats cannot win an election without the Black vote. After ignoring our demands for an anti-Black hate crime bill and lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves slash freedmen, the Democrats tried to create a new voter bloc by using the immigrant community as a front to allow illegal immigrants to cross the border and find shelter within these sanctuary cities while taking Black American demands for granted. For the past 60 years, Black voters have constantly delivered 85 to 95% of our vote to Democrat candidates. We're not just a voting bloc. We're the base of the Democrat Party. We're the party's most loyal constituents, and they tried to see if they could win the election without offering us any economic tangibles. The 2024 election was a political disaster for the Democrats. They thought that they could pivot their focus on Latino voters, Asian American voters, suburban white women, and recent immigrants while ignoring Black issues. They thought our loyalty to the Democrat Party was guaranteed, and they did not have to do anything for our community. They gambled with their vote and they lost. You cannot build a winning coalition by alienating your most reliable base. The political machine is starting to shift. For example, California Governor Gavin Newsom just signed legislation creating a reparations agency that will determine eligibility for reparations for Black Californians. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a carrot throwing that reparations, in our face. That's not going to change anything until they um, put those checks in our bank accounts, just like they did during COVID. So, family, the question is why now? This suddenly urgency about justice and equity, or is he motivated politically for his run for political for president for sorry tongue twice? Is he motivated politically for his run for presidential candidate in 2028? He's watching the political landscape and reading the room. He sees that the path to the Democrat nomination and the White House runs through the Black vote. The pressure is finally producing action. Reparations alone, while absolutely necessary and long overdue, are not sufficient to address the systematic inequalities that descendants of American slaves slash freedmen face. We're talking about centuries of compound disadvantage that have been embedded into every institution in the United States of America. You cannot just write a check and call it even. We also need comprehensive legislative reform that address the structural barriers that keep Black Americans from achieving economic opportunities. Here's what real equity looks like. First, reparations are the acknowledgement of debt owed, but we also need laws changed to ensure that the playing field is actually leveled going forward. We need to address criminal justice reform as it pertains to the school to prison pipeline, the cash bail system, and mandatory minimum sentencing that has devastated the African American community. We need to address educational equity that ensures Black children have access to the same quality of education, resources, and opportunities as their white counterparts. We need to address healthcare reform that address the maternal um, morality crisis, killing Black women at rates 3 to 4 times higher than white women. We need to address housing policies that dismantle redlining legacies and create genuine pathway to home ownership and generational wealth building. We need to address economic policies as it pertains to the wealth gap between blacks and whites in America. The medium wealth, the medium white family has nearly 10 times the wealth of the medium black family. We need to address small business support that reaches Black entrepreneurs instead of bureaucracy systems designed to exclude us. We need to address Black reform, banking reform that stops the predatory lending practices that strip wealth from the African American community. We need to address environmental justice that stops placing toxic waste sites and pollution industries in the African American neighborhoods. This is the bare minimum to begin addressing centuries of systematic oppression, exploitation, and discrimination. We have political leverage now to demand all of this from both political parties. The Democratic Party cannot win the presidency without carrying Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And they cannot carry those states without massive Black voter turnout. For example, in Georgia alone, Black voters represent 30% of the electorate. And in the 2020 election, they turned out at historic levels and delivered the state to Democrats for the first time in decades. Black organizers, Black voters, and Black activists changed the entire electoral map. And what did we get in return? Performance, gestures, and symbolism. It was insulting for the Democrats have taken our vote for granted while they give economic tangibles and legal protection to other groups. For example, they look at Latino voters as swing voters for Republicans. They view Asian American voters as splitting evenly. They watch suburban white women moving right while all while assuming Black voters would show up for them without economic tangibles and legal protection. These Democrat politicians fail to understand loyalty is a two-way street. You cannot expect people to remain committed to you when you demonstrate through your actions that you're not committed to them. Black voters are not monolithic of un- of unconditional support, which we're just uh, tongue twisted. Bear with me, y'all. We're strategic thinkers who have been voting for the less of two evils for far too long, watching both parties fail to deliver economic tangibles. The Democrats are now in crisis mode. The Democrats know that if Black voters turnout drops even 5 to 10% in key swing states, they will lose. If Black voters start exploring third party candidates or simply stay home, the Democrat Party will become a permanent minority party on the national level. This is why they are suddenly moving on issues that have been too complicated. Newsom reparation agency is just the beginning. Just watch how many policy proposals will target Black Americans in the next 2 years. Black Americans, we need to flex our leverage. We cannot allow them to give us a reparations study commission and then claim victory while failing to pass any actual legislation. We cannot accept photo ops and emotional speeches while material conditions within the African American community remains unchanged. We have to demand the deliverables, timelines, and accountability. Here, here's what GRCAM recommends. First, identify the specific legislation that would create the most significant impact for the African American communities. Rank them. Create a scorecard for every Democrat politician based on their actual voting record and policy advocacy on those issues. Make it publicly available. Hold town halls where politicians must answer directly to Black constituents about what they're delivered and what they're committed to delivering. Stop letting them campaign in our churches and barbershops with vague promises of hope and change without concrete policies. Immigrants include Black immigrants, including African immigrants, Afro Caribbeans, Afro Latinos, deserve humane treatment, dignity, and a pathway to citizenship. But the way Democrat tried to play different marginalized communities against each other was not a good look. They thought that they could trade Black political priorities for migrant political priorities without losing our support. There's no contradiction between supporting immigrants' rights and demanding the United States of America address its debt to Black Americans. These are not competing interests. They're complementary complementary fights for justice. But Democrats try to use immigration as a replacement issue rather than an additional issue. Now Democrats are starting to learn that they cannot out outrun history and they cannot win elections without the black vote. They are coming back by 2026 mixed midterms and the 2028 presidential race. The question is, what do we do with this leverage? First, we need to organize, we create coalition across the African American communities and speak with a unified voice about our non-negotiable demands. Second, we need to educate our people about politics within our communities and within our neighborhoods. We must make sure everybody understands exactly what's at stake and what we should demand in exchange for our votes. Third, we legislate. We identify allies in Congress and state legislators who are willing to introduce um, bills on our behalf. They tried to win without us and they failed. Now they're going to come back, and we need to make sure that when they do, we're bringing that they're going to bring economic tangibles in forms of policies only for Black Americans. Reparations are necessary. Criminal justice reform is necessary. Educational equity is necessary. Healthcare justice is necessary. Black economic empowerment is necessary. Environmental justice is necessary, and all of it is achievable. The Democrat Party needs us more than we need them. This is our moment. The political game is starting to shift in our favor. We have leverage, and leverage only works if you willing to use it. We have to be uncompromised in our demands and strategic in our approach. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Our third topic, 5 reasons why the American empire is falling. The American empire was built off the backs of our ancestors who were forced against their will to the New World in order to build the white supremacist financial elite's economy because they were too doggone lazy to build it for themselves. That's what I said. They was too doggone lazy. Up here talking about we're lazy. Hate hearing that garbage. This gave rise to American capitalism. They whitewashed American history and created this American experiment called the American Dream. The American Dream is the belief that anyone in the US can achieve success and prosperity through hard work, determination, and innovative, regardless of their background. Historically, this was often associated with owning a home and material wealth. The American Dream has evolved into including a broader idea of social mobility, opportunity, and a fulfillment lifetime to ideals like liberty and the pursuit of happiness. While many still believe in the dream, there are ongoing debates about whether it remains accessible to all Americans. Equality and opportunity. At is at its roots, the American dream is tied to the ideas in the Declaration of Independence, suggesting a society where, quote, life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to his ability or achievement, unquote. Hard work and determination. It is the belief that hard work and preservation are the keys to upward social mobility and success. The American dream myth has influenced many people from around the globe to travel to the United States of America in order for them to be a part of this so called land of opportunity. But for those of us who experience the American nightmare and accessibility, economic barriers. In recent years, the economic downturns, the American dream has become challenged by factors like rising home prices and stagnant income mobilities, leading some to question its attainability. Persistent inequality. The dream has also been critiqued for historically being more accessible to certain groups, particularly for white European immigrants, and the idea that systematic inequalities continue to make it harder for people who who have built the United States of America, that is, descendants of American slaves slash freedmen. Evolving goals. The emphasis on home ownership as a central component of the dream has diminished for some, with renting now seen as a more viable path to financial stability. We're talking about the economic and political systems that created these ideas. America is full of hyper consumerism, material. Um, mm, Hold on, let me get this. This is another tongue twist for me, but I'm gonna do it. Materialization, ma- um, um, materialization, and inequality. It's all propped up by public relations campaigns and election cycles. We're going to mention 5 reasons why the American empire is falling. The first reason why the American empire is falling is because capitalism has outgrown democracy. Let's begin with the contradiction we're taught we're we live in a democracy. We vote for a new president every 4 years. We have our rights, but the economic structure is undemocratic. A small group of people, only 2% of the population, hold all of the wealth. They are known as the white supremacist financial elites. They own and control mega corporations. They're the ones who call the shots in our society. For example, they decide what gets produced, what your wages will be, and how much healthcare is going to cost you. These decisions shape our lives far more than anything at the ballot box. These white supremacist financial elites spend billions of dollars making sure that any threat to their power is neutralized. I've been telling Black Americans for 3 decades America is not a democracy, it's an oligarch wrapped in a flag. The second reason why the American empire is falling is because the empire model has replaced the republic. Let's look at our foreign policy or imperial policy. The United States of America spends more on its military than on its infrastructure, such as building buildings, roads, and power supplies. America has military bases across the African continent. They promote regime change, global surveillance, proxy wars. What does that have to do with making America great again? A society that prioritizes global domination will always underinvest in its people. Our public school systems is crumbling. Our healthcare system is underfunded while funding contractors get while defense contractors get trillions of dollars for their budgets. This is an empire for profit. That's what America has turned into. History has shown us powerful empires like Rome, Britain, the Soviet Union, if they do not reform, they will collapse. The third reason why the American empire is falling is because the working class in these societies have been dismantled by design. For most of the 20th century, the American working class was unionized. They were well organized and were able to obtain fair wages, pensions, and benefits. The white supremacist financial elite declared war on unions through a combination of policies, propaganda, and brute force. Unions in America truly have been broken down. They created the free trade agreement to outsource American manufacturing plants for cheap labor in China and Mexico. This was to undercut wages, independent contracting, replace stable employment, right to work laws, demonize collective action, create high unemployment in urban areas. As a result, it hurt the American worker. You cannot save a country where the majority of its citizens are one medical bill away from poverty and have no institutional power to change it. The fourth reason why the American empire is falling is because the profit motive has colonized every aspect of life. Let's look at what's happening when everything becomes a market. Education becomes a business, healthcare becomes a business, private prisons becomes a business. There's a profit in keeping people sick. There's a profit in keeping people in debt. We have universities acting like hedge funds, hospitals acting like credit card companies, and pharmaceutical companies would rather allow people to die than to lower the prices of their medications. We cannot run a society on the principles of short term gain and expect long term survival. And yet, that's exactly what has happened in American society. Again, our fight is not for America, our fight is for Africa. Global African family, if you are serious about me moving my virtual Christian organization, GRCAM, to the African continent, then please help me get my revised book on that bestsellers list and get behind our film project so that the Black world will know who we are and what we're trying to do to help our people that's trapped in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. For 33 years, Black Chicago's Chicagoans have sat here and rejected my vision and plan. This is why I wrote my story, and this is why I will turn over my business to my management team before I cut and run to Africa. My business will be membership based. Okay, I'll leave that alone. I already said all that stuff. The fifth reason why the American empire is falling is because the environment has become monetized. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's a civilized one. Decades of warnings, decades of inaction, and that's because action is bad for business. In a rational society, we would have transitioned away from fossil fuels decades ago, but in a capitalist society, the fossil fuel industry is too well connected. It's too big. It's too profitable. Every year we see wildfires, floods, and rising temperatures. And every year the emissions continue to go up. Not because we don't know what to do, but because it doesn't pay to do it. Climate collapse has been absorbed into the system. You can now invest in climate fu- futures by disaster insurance portfolios. So in a way, the collapse of itself has become profitable, and that means that the system itself has no true incentive to stop it, because in stopping any kind of collapse in America, any kind of de- degrade degrade degradation, it is a slowdown of the short-term gain that many of these corporations, many of the CEOs and major shareholders are expecting, as always. But the thing is, the system isn't broken. This is all done by design. The white supremacist financial elites extract wealth from the poor. The military protects the wealth abroad. The mainstream media distract attention away from the real issues. The political class are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. The root of the problem is corruption and capitalism. Capitalism will always be a system that prioritizes profits over people, markets over morality, and growth over sustainability. GRCAM is about improving Black America and Africa. We have the courage, the vision, and the solidarity to build the best African American business within the United States of America, GRCAI of Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Please leave a public comment about the topic in the comment section below this audio podcast and share with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. Thank you for listening to our audio podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Please be sure to click the subscribe button and the like button. If you see a survey and they ask you, did you like the stream? Say yes. It's educational. Give us a good rating because those ratings help recommend more content. That's the new YouTube. Please give us a good rating. Put me on blast by telling all of your friends and family to listen to our content on our YouTube page. I'm going to send a challenge out to everybody that's listening to this audio podcast. I need all hands on deck for our film project so that we can move beyond cyberspace and get our story on the big screen to let the Black world know who we are and what we're trying to do for our people who are trapped in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. Quote, Hood Liberator made in Chicago, the war against Willie Lynch begins, unquote. You can be a part of this historic docudrama by contributing to our crowdfunding pages, which are on GoFundMe, our um, page is also on Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal Giving Fund page. So those are the three that I use. So that way everybody know where the money is going. Um, when you help donate, those funds will go towards marketing, promotion, clearance, legal, and general expenses. If you are a U.S. citizen, then I recommend that you donate to our PayPal Giving Fund page because you can use it as a tax write-off. Because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based community advocacy organization. You can also purchase items from our virtual store or purchase my revised book. The ebook is $9.99, or the softcover book is $15 plus shipping and handling. We appreciate your support. You can find all of the links below this audio podcast in the comments section. Thank you for listening to our YouTube um, or listen to the replay. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. I want to thank all of you for listening to our audio podcast on Spotify. If you are new to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast, welcome to our safe space where we discuss Black issues and African issues. We do this every week. This will conclude our audio podcast for today. We will see you on the next episode. And before I leave, I am going to pull up the I'm going to pull up my sources so that way you can guide through it, and that would be nice and helpful and things like that. So just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can pull that up. Right. Okay, so this is my link tree. Okay. And let's see. I like using this because this helps me move a little faster. It's user friendly and things like that. So I'm clicking on my Medium page. So this is the things that you're all going to see. And I'm going to go to where it says home. So anyway, this is what's going to pop up. This right here. And so that's the speech I just got through reading, my transcript. So I also call it my medium transcript. But and everything is on here and stuff like that. So that's what I use. Um, okay, let me get out of that one. Okay. Oh wow. I didn't know it was gonna close everything. Oh boy. Because I had some more stuff I wanted to show. Hmm. Well, just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, as I try to pull up my information. Because basically, I'm just trying to show you how to navigate on here. That's all. Um, wow. Let's see. Again, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. But I really would love to encourage all of you to just follow me on my Medium page so that way you can have access to my transcript. And that would be great. So um a couple of things I'm gonna be pulling up. So because I didn't know it was gonna kick me off, when I got on there. So almost done. But again, the reason why I host my virtual interactive conference every month, I'm trying to connect with everybody that's on my friends list, everybody that's in my social groups. I want to interact with you all. Would like for you all to leave comments, in the comment section, share my information. This is how we're going to move forward. Again, I don't want to be doing this another 33 years, That's not cool at all. That's a shame. Very shameful. But again, once we get this business popping, I can do things, and once the money start pouring in, then I can be in a better position to hire people. But like I say, people want to call themselves want to be around me when I start making money, and I'm like, I don't operate like that. I'll show you better than I can tell you. If if you're not a member, I ain't gonna fool with you. All righty. So, okay. Man, it's not pulling it up. I don't know why. So what I'm trying to pull up, I'm trying to pull on the screen so you can see my YouTube page. That's all I'm trying to do. So it's giving me some issues. I don't see it on here though. So I don't know if this is showing. Let me look again. All right, there it is. So this is my YouTube page right here. I'm trying to encourage all of you that's listening. I need more subscribers. I'd like to, on LinkedIn alone, I have 10,000 followers. However, my book is barely selling, so what's wrong with that picture? That's not cool. So a lot of people online, a lot of them are just on here playing games. And unfortunately, a lot of our own people, they even in my own family, it's a lot of envy. They don't want to see me have a successful business. That's all that is. That's on some stupid stuff. But hey, it is what it is. And those are the kind of people I don't want to be around. So, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe, you know, and interact with me. Don't be afraid to get on camera. And if you're camera shy, I can understand. It's no big deal, but cover up your camera then and come on the show and speak so you can do an audio podcast then. But I'm trying to interact with you all. And I want you to see me in person eventually. But, right now I'm on a shoestring budget because I'm not making much money. My money is going toward, paying for this business title. I pay the city, state, and the IRS every year. And guess what? I'm wasting money. But I don't want to say that I'm wasting money, yes, technically, but I don't want to think of it in that way. I want to think of it as I'm trying to invest in our future, even for kids that's not even born yet. But I want to make sure that we get this business established. I want people to know my story, all this unnecessary foolishness I went through for trying to do something positive, trying to create something positive that can be passed down to the next generation. And I want to make sure that all of my members is going to benefit from this business. That's why I want to leave America. But before I cut and run, I want to make sure I can sustain myself in Africa. And you know, I know Black Americans and Africans, we're basically the same, just got different cultures and stuff like that. But we have to heal from this. For Black Americans, we got to heal from this slave mentality. African immigrants, you got to heal from that colonized mindset. That's bottom line. So yeah, I need you all to subscribe, okay? Very important. And right here, these are all my top. That's where it says, look up where it says videos. Um, on here, you click where it says more links. So that way you can find more of the sites that I'm on. I'm just trying to let y'all, be familiar with this stuff. But I do want to move from behind the computer for real. I'm grateful to have this platform. Now I have a global audience. But I don't want to just be sitting up here, just be running off at the mouth. I want to give our youth an opportunity to be up in these films, and I want to give them a stipend. That means I'm going to put money in their pocket through the business to be in the film. And that's for me, that's going to help keep them productive and keeping them off the streets and out of gangs. That's how we help stop the genocide in American ghettos, and we replicate the business on the African continent and help our brothers and sisters that's in the African slums to get out the slums and for them to use their talents to be in our business to make African empowerment films. That's how, right? So I showed you all that one. So I'm finna get out of this one, right? Now I'm finna go to my favorite one, which is Substack. Y'all can follow me on there too if you like. So that would be Emmanuel Barbie Online, all one word, .substack.com. And so that's over here. And so this is what I really wanted to show you all. So you click on here where it says post. So that's like, what I just posted today. And this is the transcript. You just click on that. Um, you send me a friend request on here, and then you can have access to it over here as well. All righty. So yeah, ain't no shame. I read my speeches. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that the world hear me loud and clear. I want to stay focused on what I'm saying, not to just be on here rambling off at the mouth. You know. So right here where it says show and prove, this is these are my receipts. So like that video I was telling you about, um oh my goodness, I don't even see the video. Dang. It's all right. It is what it is, I mean, things happen. I have the video, but it might be down here somewhere then. But that lady said some really powerful stuff. But look at all these other videos, you know what I'm saying? These are positive things. I mean, some of you might not be able to look at the videos because of, if you're on the African continent, it eats up a lot of your bundles. So I would just say be selective. But those of you that's able to look at all this stuff, go ahead. But this is what I'm on. I like to focus on positive things. And this is stuff that's happening in real life. You know what I'm saying? This is happening now. Saying something that happened 20 or 15 years ago. This is current stuff that's going on. So we need to be aware about all that. Oh man. Yeah, well, so much. All I can say is I actually thought I had it on there because that was she was saying some good stuff to the young lady. Oh well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like, check out these videos on here. Some real awesome stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I can't find that TikTok video, but all you have to do on the reel, look, I would say you would just highlight this or write this down. This is the title of it. And again, it says, quote, so the Supreme Court is gearing up to gut Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Voting rights. Yeah. So you type that in on YouTube, sorry, on TikTok, and it's gonna pop up. That's all I can tell you because I was able to pull her up through putting in, that title. But unfortunately, yeah, dag, it's not on here. So it's okay. At least I showed you all, what you can do on that. Um, again, thank you for your time. Um, again, if you're serious about coming on my to be on my panel for my virtual interactive conference on Saturday, October 25th, then please send me your email address and send me a message to my Facebook inbox. And what I will do, I will send you the Zoom link as well as to your email. And so that's the best that I can do. And once you finish saying your perspective, I'll open up the show for Q&A for anyone that's on my friends list to get on camera and for us to talk about the that video about international white supremacy. That's what we're going to talk about on my show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I had to show you. And again, thank you all for listening. And that's going to conclude our show for today. Peace and blessings.